Rumours. Hey, team.
Hello.
Hey, people.
Hello. Sorry, we're a little bit late. Bit of a rush
Got
job.
locked out.
Oh, all right. All the best. Digger's in there.
Hey.
Keeping my fluids up here, Digger.
We got a new theme song. Well, not a new theme song. It's a new version.
New version. We'll spin it every now and then.
Cover version.
You know what's coming.
Yeah. All right. We ready to go?
Yeah.
Whoa. Thank you. Saxman.
Beautiful. From the Saxman, Matt Samet himself.
Who had fireworks coming out of his saxophone on Friday
Saw
night.
that.
I feel like he's going to like jetpack into the stadium at some point.
I asked him on Instagram, I was like, did you have your eyebrows left after that performance?
It's just like the bar just keeps getting risen higher and higher.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just like the Crows, right?
Yeah, it seemed like a low-key intro for such a good win.
Oh, nah. It was like
Classy.
Sexy.
I meant your energy, Dan.
Sexy. G'day, Sam.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey.
Hello, Kate.
G'day.
Special guest.
Oh, thanks.
Well, actually, no longer really a special guest.
Yeah.
We should let the people know that Kate is actually going to be joining us on a much more regular basis.
Yes, thank you, Kate.
So
Thanks,
welcome,
guys.
Kate, officially to the Here We Crow fam.
Oh, I'm honoured.
You are a fam of the pod now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and the reason for that is because we all need a little bit of a break. We are burnt out, so we're getting one more in, and obviously Nuz is going to join us as well. So we're just going to be rotating through a little bit and getting some insights from everyone.
Most importantly, keeping some continuity with our people on the pod.
That's right.
We good?
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you, Kate.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's episode 124. We're going to talk all about the Crows versus the Lions and the win that we didn't necessarily think we were going to get, but we're happy to be on the right side of one of those close games against a good team. So 5-point
Ben's
win.
not out, Joshy. Ben is still in, but tonight he's out.
I couldn't replace Ben.
No
No.
one can replace Ben.
Nah.
Kate is the super sub. Yes, she is.
We need to balance out all our humour with some of Ben's dry wit.
That's right.
That's the
100%.
We all know that Ben's the favourite, so it's
That's right.
we can't get rid of him.
But as I was saying, Lauren, 5-point win to the Crows, massive. Do we believe? Do we believe what can happen
I'm
this
lids
year?
off, baby. Lids
Your
off.
lids off?
Oh,
I've gone early on Ben's quiz. Sorry, just to switch this back. Are we lids off?
I'm not quite lids off
Nah,
yet.
I'm not lids off.
But
You're
I'm
crazy. I'm lids off.
But
I'm
I'm-
living it up, baby.
I'm excited though. I'm excited.
No, didn't you hear, Kane? We didn't deserve to win.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about Slutty Kane pretty soon. But I think first we want to do the quiz, and we're going to talk about the upcoming Hawks game down in Tassie as well. All of a sudden, and now that we've won 2 of the unwinnable games that we thought maybe at the start we weren't going to win, all of a sudden it's like, do we need to win a third one? Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice.
you know. Anyway, go on.
Adelaide Ducks.
Who's Ben?
Who's, what Ben? Okay.
Sam's Ben tonight.
I'm taking on Ben's segment. All right.
Sam's going to show you how fast Ben's segment can
That's
go
it.
for. How quick it can be.
Now, Lauren's
Wait.
already seen it.
Where's the
I'm
stat?
not looking.
Okay.
You need to put the stat man on.
Oh, Statman, yeah.
Statman,
sorry.
Statman, skibby-dibby-doo, bop, bop, bop.
Is that on here? We
Yeah,
did put
it's
that on
there.
here.
Yeah,
Come on,
it
mate.
is.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. One job.
Oh, did I put this
One
back at the start?
job.
Oh,
yeah.
we
Sam's just doing one thing.
Yeah.
I should have just let it go, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should have. Now we need to play it. There it is.
I'm the stat man.
Are you there?
I'm not the stat man. No. Debut player, 124.
Whoa.
It's someone
I have seen it.
we all like
We all know and
and
love.
not.
Tyson
Friend of the pod.
Stengline.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
Stengline.
No.
Friend of the pod.
Tom
Friend of the
Dudek.
We've
pod.
already had Douglas, haven't we?
Yeah. Oh, have we? I don't know. But
Oh, we got a little stinger from him.
Is that him?
Yeah.
No.
he's a friend of the pod. He
Chris
was
Massey.
he was on in the early days.
Yeah.
We had a great chat.
He's a music fan.
Oh, Fitzy.
Yes.
Fitzy, 8 games for 2002 to
How many knee
2002.
injuries?
Was that 2?
4 Fitzy.
Started with Sydney, pick 4 in 1998, kicked 5 on debut, career hampered by shoulder and knee injuries, 8 goals in
shame.
8 games for us, 4 on debut for us against Sydney. Oh,
You're early, mate.
love it.
We just heard the haunting of the Hawks song
Yeah,
coming
we
up
just hear the
stairs.
Hawks song coming up the stairs. That was very strange.
Come and sit down.
Our Hawks Nuffy has arrived early, Damian Peterson.
Yeah.
He'll be joining us a bit later. G'day, mate. Hello. Pull up a pew.
All right.
Anywhere.
But post-football, better known for his post-football than his actual football. Maybe you can go around the table and mention your favourite Fitzy moment. We won't be doing that, Ben. Keep this moving along.
Favourite Fitzy moment? Well, obviously the maths dinner parties is my favourite Fitzy moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
My favourite Fitzy moment is his festival that he does down in the south.
yeah, that's true.
Nice
Yep.
day to go to the club.
Yeah, that's been good the last couple of years.
good fun.
Ready for the quiz? He said too bad. 2004 was just last year and too recent for a quiz. The quiz is dead.
wow.
He
The
said
quiz is dead.
He said the quiz is dead. Long live the quiz.
He's killed the quiz.
Far out.
He couldn't handle not being here for the last quiz. He's like, that's it.
Very sassy from Ben here. He's also draft
Is that just
2004.
thinly veiled laziness?
I think so. Well, what about, wait for this one. Draft 2004. If you can't remember, I'm not going to tell you.
Wow.
He's just he's
Is
giving us
that
stuff there.
2024 you mean?
Yeah, sorry, 2024. What did I say?
2004.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sorry,
We've done that one.
Yeah, 2024. Yeah. So that's it.
Well,
that's all he's
shit.
giving me.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's it. then.
Wow.
Ben's quiz is done.
Ben,
That's
that's pretty shit by you.
yeah.
Best Fitzy moment when he tied Dangerfield's Nana to a chair to hold her hostage so Danger wouldn't leave. Did that happen?
Yeah, that's fair. Did that actually happen?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Sounds feasible.
Yeah. All right. What are we doing next, Dan? Come on.
Oh, wow. I'm not ready to go straight into
You
the
need to
game
keep
review.
things moving.
All right, let's do it. Wait for the bounce. There we go. Oh, yeah. So it was the Crows on a Friday night against the Lions. It was a 5-point victory in the wet. Who saw that coming? I don't think. Oh, well, Lauren did apparently. I think when we were down by 3 goals at 3/4 time, probably didn't see it coming back.
Oh, I did tell Ben at 3/4 time, we need a miracle here, and the miracle came. So
Yeah.
what a game! Absolutely awesome.
Had a bit of that last showdown about it, I think, with us kicking a few goals in the last quarter to just come storming back in.
Yeah. Well, it was a low scoring affair, and even though it looked ugly, the points wise, we weren't really that far behind the whole game. We just kind of looked average, and Brisbane, they were controlling the game. So yeah, when that last quarter started, and things just started happening for us, it was like, oh shit, here we go, like we might be on something here. And yeah, the energy of the crowd, I think, really actually brought the Crows home there, because the crowd was nuts, and Kate was there; she can attest to that.
Absolutely.
Especially when Dawson took that screamer, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and we'll be watching on replay for years to come. That was another, it was another showdown moment, and that was even better because not only did he take the mark, but he kicked the goal. It was just fantastic.
Yeah.
And poor old Riley Thilthorpe on a poster.
Yeah.
Really
Knee in
copped
the
it.
back. But look, it looked spectacular, didn't it?
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't
was
really
good.
matter that your own teammate did it too.
It's more the symbolism around that mark, I think, as the captain, to just go forward and just take that and put us right back in the game.
And,
Amazing.
when he had to, because he was kind of taken out of the game by Dunkley for most of it. He
Yeah.
was copping a heavy tag, and, when it counted, he came out, and yeah, it was just unreal.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And I think there's a few people. Obviously, we're pretty lucky in the end with Brisbane missing some sitters, some hard ones as well. Lockie Niels was a bit of a sitter at the end. Zach Bailey's were kind of out wide, which are out in the full. So, people saying Brisbane shot themselves in the foot. But if you go back to the first quarter, we were pretty bad going up forward.
Well, yeah, we missed
a lot of the chances.
We had 6 points in the first term, so if we'd kicked any of those, like, the game could have been really different. And as Matthew Nick said in the post-game press conference, that last quarter, yes, we were getting absolutely pummeled, but our defence stood up, and we obviously rattled the Lions enough
Yeah.
that they couldn't kick. they were rattled, and they're not a team that get rattled very often. So obviously the pressure got to them.
Absolutely.
And it just happened to go our way this time, which you got to take.
Yeah.
Take 4 points. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I think the thing we can take as well is the ability to get right back in those games, which we in the past would have lost. From 3/4 time being down 17 points, whatever it was, it would be rare for us to come back and win a game like that in the past. And,
What have we been calling about for the last few weeks? When was the last time we actually won a big game? Like there was a big moment and a big game and it was an excellent win, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think very mature win. Like, I think it's just more evidence that of the growth, mentally and cohesively that we have as a team. And it wasn't perfect. And the stats say that Brisbane, beat us, in a lot of areas. But to take it out, despite all of that, again, that's sort of our second kind of win like that. I think that really shows a lot of growth and the kind of. It was the weather contributed, but I think it is more that finals type of pressure, starting to kind of get some experience of what a really big, really tight, really unpredictable game is going to be like. And I think they stood up to the challenge. So
Yeah, and I think I totally agree with the maturity call because, Nick's also said in that press conference that he kind of trusted the players at the end. They all trusted the players to just play it out and play how they thought they should play, didn't make any movements to confuse anyone, just let them do it. And even though they probably didn't execute it quite like they wanted to, they still did it. And, they really locked in and, Steve Digger's in here saying they just said, okay, let's roll. And roll they did.
Yeah.
And
I think
it's
that
a really
shows-
satisfying win.
Yeah, I think that shows some maturity from the coaching staff as well, because given that we've won, two of the four, games that we all before the bye that we all thought we really need to snatch at least two of these. I think it was an opportunity to test that out and see how the players went with less kind of instruction and stuff coming from the bench or the runners or whatever it might be. So I think it was a good game to give that a go and give them that learning opportunity. As I think from the coaches, that's a sign of their growth as well.
Yeah. I did say it was pretty frustrating watching them bomb it down the line for 15 minutes
Absolutely.
from Brisbane's forward line. Like, oh my God, I was going a bit crazy. And
It was always to that
Absolutely.
Western pocket, like every time.
Yeah.
I know.
Just bomb it down there and hope for the best.
That is our default mode still sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, Roy Sloan actually did a pretty good analysis on the Footy Show on Sunday about that. And
Yeah, okay.
I was talking about it earlier, how he kind of showed when we were attacking the game, and that's when, the boxing glove sign came up, and that's when, we're attacking. But obviously the players went defensive a little bit too early when they should have probably still been attacking.
Yeah.
But I can't even remember my point, but it's just more that they probably should have been attacking until later in the game, give
Yeah,
it until
needed
that 5 minutes and then start saving the game.
Yeah.
Because then that wouldn't have been as frustrating. And also I just do wonder, why do we bomb it down the line to that one side? Well,
I'm assuming that's just where Rob always is, so we try and kick it to him, even though he never marks it. So no, it was pretty noticeable. We obviously had one or two players behind the ball, and then it's every time that ball would potentially go over the back of that pack situation. It was a Brisbane player there and no one from our side, so they just had an easy path back into their 50. So it was just that on repeat.
pretty risky
unfortunately.
playing that way.
Yeah, I haven't got the footy nous to know for sure, but I do know that we would have prepared for just a wet weather game, and it was it's wet, it's dried off, it's wet, it's dried off, throughout the game, and it felt like Brisbane got the better of us when it was drier, and we kind of coped better with the wet weather. So I don't know if that is part of, I guess, either trying to then adjust to, it's drier now, so we're going to kick it and try get some marks, or, like I said, I don't have enough personal experience playing football to know for sure. But I did feel like we had to kind of adjust throughout the game when we might have just prepared for it to be one way. And wonder if, again, that might be when some of those bad habits show up a little bit, when maybe they're a little lost as to what to do at those times.
I think subbing Butts off seemed like the right move, and bringing Smith on, he was good in that last
He was
quarter.
great.
Well, we definitely we needed his, meters gained and his like
Yes.
long bomb kicks in that moment, didn't we?
Yeah,
So yeah,
for
it
sure.
was
Disposal
definitely
efficiency.
helpful.
Yeah.
Talking about some other players, I think it's really pleasing when, obviously our forward line and the three tools down there are always the big talking point, but when it's not them and it's other players, Ben Keys, Josh Rochelle taking their moments and kicking 3 goals apiece, obviously they were match winners for us.
Everyone's talking
important.
about Ben Keys at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously we always applaud his gut running and just his work ethic.
Yeah.
But he did manage to shut down Zorko and also kick 3 goals. So,
Yeah.
20 disposals.
I think he's just such an underrated player in the Oppo's eyes, which, unfortunately they probably will start to take a bit more notice of Ben Keys.
Yeah.
But like I said, his work ethic is just amazing. So he is a very hard player to control.
It's worth talking about in the context of, I know, Sam, Kate gave you a bit of grief about it in the chat, but we've talked about in the past how, Sam's big call about Ben Keys is probably not part of our best 22 when we're a good team. He's reinvented himself to the point where he can't not be. Like he's got that forward craft now. He's not missing goals that he used to spray all the time back in the day.
When I first made that comment, which was when the first year of this podcast, he was playing midfield because we had nobody better,
100%.
getting 30 possessions but wasting half of them. So, it's like I'm a Ben Keys fan, and he's obviously playing amazingly well for us at the moment.
Can you say that again?
Don't worry, it's recorded now.
But honestly, if he didn't reinvent himself and he was just that one-trick pony, being a midfielder, accumulator who burns the football, a lot of the time, he would have been out of the side. But he's absolutely made his new position his own, and he's one of the better players in the team because of it. So
that Josh Rochelle goal from the boundary was massive as well.
Wasn't
like
it?
that was, I know it wasn't the first goal; it was the Keys one that got us going. But that Rochelle goal just in the wet from almost
how does
50,
he do it? Like
it has to fire you up. Saying something like that.
It was
that was
funny
Darren
because
Jarman-esque.
we all knew he was going to kick it. Like the energy upstairs was like, there's no way he doesn't kick this. Like it's Josh. He's absolutely going to do it. And when he did, the crowd was just nuts.
Yeah.
The crowd really brought us home in a lot of ways, and good on everyone. It was like 42K there on such a shitty night. So good on everyone for getting out there.
And the back line, again, really stood tall. I think your Worrells, your Michael Laney's just amazing. He was the one that kicked that ball into Dawson for the big mark. So he's just growing every game.
I doubt that the backline will get any votes for us, but they were huge.
Well,
Definitely.
Well, I'm preempting here, but it's there might be one backman, but more of an attacking backman. But
We'll see.
the taller defenders all did.
Don't
a job.
preempt our votes, mate.
Sorry, Vardy just said in the chat, "Who's the guy with the beard?" Referencing me talking about Keys, I think. So. Thanks, Vardy.
Who is he? I do want to bring up, before we get into votes and stuff like that, I did want to bring up one player who's probably the most maligned player in the team at the moment, and
Rob?
that's Tex Walker.
Oh.
No, not Rob. I think Rob, we all know, is just solid at the moment, but
Did you
Tex
see
was
him?
kind of really annoying me on
was he?
Friday night.
Yeah.
I think he just did a couple of things where I was just like, mate, what are you doing? Like you're
where he tried
taking
to
on
fend
too
off.
much.
Yeah.
Well, no, one, that was the biggest one probably, is when he tried to fend off the 2 to 3 Brisbane Lions defenders when he had Isaac Rankin right there for the handball. Our gameplay at the moment is keep the ball moving. Why isn't he doing that? And especially you got to, it would have been a hard handball to get across, but you got to trust Rankin in those moments.
Yeah.
The second one was when they were bombing it back out of the Lions forward 50, and he went over the top of Dawson to try and take the mark.
Yeah,
And
I
I was
remember
just
that.
like, mate, what are you doing? Why are you spoiling the king of contested marks? You are not taking this. Just back off.
Yeah.
I said to Dan in the car, maybe Tex doesn't, he's been that game saver player for so long, and now he's just not that guy.
Yeah,
Dawson
Lauren-
is that guy. Rankin's that guy. He needs to get out of that and just keep the ball moving. Just let those guys do their thing. Stay out of it.
I know Nix has an absolute obsession with us going in unchanged, but there was absolutely no reason for Tex to play that game.
Yeah,
In the wet when we're expecting so much rain.
I'd give him a rest this week almost.
I still think he's valuable.
I'm
in
not saying
terms of-
never to come back, but that game in particular, it just wasn't necessary.
I still think he's valuable in that he just takes one of the better defenders.
Of course, yeah.
But and he is good up the ground like taking those marks on the wing and stuff like that. Like he had some great moments. Don't get me wrong. Like that one-handed mark he took on the wing.
He's an excellent player. He's always going to do nice things.
It's just those little things where I'm just like, mate, you've got to know better than that.
I think what's really nice, and Lauren and I were saying, is it's now got to the point this year. This is that year where we're realizing we probably life without Tex isn't going to be the end of the world. Whereas I think in the past it was like that's a massive gap because he's still, Foggy and Phil Thorpe either weren't playing together or they weren't quite as cohesive as they are now. Now it's like, if Tex retires at the end of this year, we'll miss him, but we're not going to be a worse team without him in the team. I don't think anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like bringing in a negative, but Pedler's game was very flat. 3 disposals I think he had in the wet, which I would have thought he would have played quite well in. I would have expected a little bit more from him.
He did that one nice thing with
we ran in for goal.
Yeah, he had a couple of sort of attacking moments and stuff that was. I think there was one where he chased down about 3 players, but there wasn't for having played a whole game. There wasn't a lot there.
Yeah, he did. He had a bunch of tackles.
Playing.
I guess he was playing a smallish forward type of role, which can be feast or famine, of course. But 3 touches and a goal is probably below what we would like to see.
So is that a potential change then?
Potentially, yeah.
Interesting.
How far away is Murray?
1 week,
Yeah,
apparently,
1 or 2.
but you'd think he'd probably
So
come
he'll
back
just go
through the
after the
SANFL.
bye as well.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would say Butts will be obviously make way for him when he's back.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Butts has been pretty good though.
Buzz has been fine. I think, I reckon he'll play a couple of SANFL games, to be honest, and see how he goes.
Butts gets shown up with his speed, though, I think. I think Murray's a much better alternative.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But at this stage, it's like, oh, well, it's fine.
All right, should we get in some votes?
Yeah.
Sure.
Samuel, you can go first. Who have you got?
I did my votes shortly after the game, as Lauren saw before. So I actually, it was tough giving votes. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
I have been thinking about it. I wrote them down just before, but I ended up giving 3 to Dawson. I don't know, it seems like a lazy option really when you do it, but he just had such a massive impact on the game, and obviously that goal that he kicked in the last quarter was just absolutely massive to put us in front. I gave 2 to Keys, 20 disposals, 3 goals. We've talked him up. He's just when he plays like that, he's just invaluable. And I gave 1 to Laird. So Keys and Laird in my votes, which is something I probably wouldn't have thought I'd be doing. But yeah, Laird on his way back in did some things wrong, and there was that one he kicked out in the full in the last quarter. Why on earth he went for that kick, I've got no idea. Made up for it shortly after with a really strong contested mark, but 1 vote to Laird.
Nice. Kate, who did you have?
Yeah, I found votes a bit tricky too because I feel like everyone had their moments, or quite a number of people did well on certain things, but then there was something that was a little bit of a letdown about their game as well. But in the end, I went for 3 to Keys for the obvious reasons. And I went like 2 to Dawson. I think, that kind of almost spiritual leadership that he showed was a huge part of the game and the momentum. And I actually went 1 for Solly. As much as he maybe, wasn't as noticeable on the night, he laid so many tackles.
I was going to say, how many tackles did he have?
Like 13. Yeah, so many, 35 pressure acts. I just think on the replay, I think I noticed him a lot more in the bits of play that he was involved in. So, they were my votes.
Did you enjoy the replay? Did we all watch it ended up watching on Saturday?
I've watched the last.
It was much better the second time.
I've watched the last quarter like 4 times, I reckon.
That's a good call on Saligo. Lauren?
I actually had the exact same votes as Kate.
Oh, wow.
We were watching the same game, clearly. 3 for Keys, 2 for Dawson, 1 for Solly. And I agree. Solly he almost got quite achiever for me because he was just quietly going about it. But his stat line was too good. So I gave him 1.
Did Ben send in?
Ben did, 3 to Keys, 2 to Laird, and 1 to Jordan Dawson. Mainly his last quarter he wrote there. That was all he gave me. So
Nice. I went with 3 to Ben Keys, 2 to Dawson, and I actually gave 1 to Rochelle.
Yeah.
He wasn't prolific in getting the ball, but when he did get it, he made it work. He 3 goals out of 10 disposals, and really important goals when we needed them. So
that
he's
1
doing his
votes
job.
could have gone to 15 players,
multiple
I think.
players, yeah.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Tyson Edwards.
You're such a quiet achiever.
We're all
Samuel.
getting
Just
distracted
getting
by
some,
on the couch.
yeah.
'cause the crows are
Crows
on.
are on.
I'll do Ben's first. He went Jake Saligo, 13 tackles, aggressive all night.
Yeah.
I gave mine to Curtin again,
Yep.
which might be becoming a bit of a pattern, but he is just becoming such like the perfect.
Such a quiet achiever.
He is really. He really is.
It's almost becoming loud.
Yeah.
How quiet.
But his marks from bailout kicks for a first, second year player have been invaluable this year. So yeah,
He rarely panics,
yeah.
doesn't he? He rarely panics. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was probably that. Probably the only time I've seen him panic was when he got the opportunity to go for
Yes,
goal in that first
exactly.
quarter.
Yes.
He really should have just balanced straight away and gone for it, but he tried to pass it off and that stuffed him, I think. But yeah.
Nice. Kate?
Yeah, again, I had trouble deciding, but I went with Miller. I think he and Curtin almost had identical kind of stats actually. But yeah, I think I just noticed where he took a, important mark or, was on Cameron and then you just didn't see Cameron for a while and a few more metres gained and such and quite efficient. So yeah, gave one to Junior. May he stay well because he's becoming more and more vital each week, I think.
Yeah. Good call. Lauren?
Adelaide on track to be the best season by any side since 2016.
Oh, wow.
44 points from
defence.
defensive half.
Holy moly. Keep talk us up.
No, wait, don't.
Yeah, all right.
too nervous.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit too, I reckon, Kate. But I want to say special mentions to Laird, Rash and Filthy, I thought.
Totally.
Was pretty good, even though he didn't kick any goals, did he? One. Curtin also got my quiet achiever because, same as what Sam said.
Because
Just
we
just
did-
coming along nicely.
I liked it that we're all three of us have kept to the actual meaning of the award, not
Oh,
just
no.
giving a fourth vote.
That tells me
Yeah.
Ben's giving a fourth
Well,
vote.
yeah.
no,
what's
he
Ben
gave it
done?
to Saligo, which is kind of a fourth
That's right.
vote. That's he loves the fourth
And
vote.
Filthy, that goal he kicked in the last quarter, that's the one.
Oh,
yeah, brilliant.
Oh yeah, that was.
He was just good. I thought he was good in the ruck. Gave us another second look in the ruck where Rob kind of looked like Rob was getting trounced by Fort a little bit here and there. I think he came out on top in the hit outs eventually, but
Fort's more mobile.
He
He probably
is.
had a better tap game to my eye, but Rob was okay.
yeah, he was
some-
fine.
He did absolutely put it down Charlie Cameron's throat though.
Yeah.
For a goal, which was annoying.
He
but-
does that every now and then.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I think too that at some point during the game, I don't know if it was the second or third quarter, but they flashed up like hit outs to advantage and it was woeful. So that was trickier. Yeah.
We did lose the stoppage clearances by some way. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
wasn't the best, but
I had Josh Worrell for my quiet
yeah.
achiever. if
Yeah.
anyone's wondering.
That's
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, that's it for that game. Let's move on. We've got Hawthorn this week in Tassie. And you might be surprised to know it's not as bad a hunting ground as you'd think. And Hawthorn are also one of those teams where I sort of assumed Hawthorn beat us quite a bit, but the last few games been pretty back and forward. So we are going to bring Damo on in a moment to talk about all things Hawthorn.
We're going to jump straight into preview.
Yeah, I think we might
let's
do
do
that
it.
because
Yeah, let's do it.
Dames is here.
Yeah,
So,
let's do it. I'm happy.
but as Damian gets in the hot seat, I'm going to just mention the last 5 games. So last year, Hawthorn pumped us at home by 66 points.
stop trashing the joint, mate.
What an entrance! We haven't even played Just Stingy yet.
Go on.
So Dames, before we introduce you properly, yes, last year Hawthorn smashed us by 66 at home and 27 at the G. The year before, we beat Hawthorn by 3 points in Tassie. 2022, we lost by 22 at Marvel against Hawthorn. 2021, it was one apiece. So we won by 19 at Marvel and lost by 3 points in Tassie. So when you look at that, we've won 1 and lost 1 at Marvel. We've won 1 and lost 1 at Tassie, and they've belted us at home, and that's kind of it. That's kind of the roundup. Let's get into it. Oh yes, we are joined again by our regular Hawthorn Nuff. It's Damian Peterson from the Metro and other amazing things like the Anchors Football Club, etc., etc.
Reigning Premier Anchors. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, guys.
Welcome.
Welcome
Thank
back.
you for joining us.
Here.
Hawthorn, they're very interesting this year.
What's going on over there?
Interesting.
Very, very
is
interesting. How
a
are you
good
seeing
word.
it? How are you seeing it?
we're just sort of battling away. The weight of expectation that everyone keeps talking about. And, I just think people expected us to keep rolling along. You know, if it wasn't for Sicily hitting the post, you know, last year could have gone even deeper considering what Sydney looked like at the end of the year.
Gee, this all sounds pretty familiar.
What?
This experience you're having, very similar to the Crows in 2024.
What'd you do in 24?
We
Nothing.
lost by a point to Sydney.
No, that was 2023. We had a big
it's
year,
the dip.
2023.
The dip
The
before
weight of
the rise.
expectations killed us.
Yeah, but you know, we're still a pretty young side. So probably, you know, I think there's really only North and Freo that are still younger than us. So you've got to sort of take that back into it. But I reckon, you know, other than Thursday night, which was obviously an excellent effort, you know, we had more tackles in that game than the previous 2 weeks combined. So it's amazing what you can do when you put a bit of pressure on the ball. But, you know, that game and probably the losses to Geelong and Gold Coast have been our only really, really good, solid four-quarter efforts. You know, other games that we won early, we sort of just turned up for a quarter and, you know, banked some wins, thankfully. So, you know, we're not anywhere in the Crows sort of league at the moment, but hopefully we can
exceeding.
keep battling away
Nah.
and maybe pinch one.
Was
Maybe.
Thursday all down to the sleepover at Sam Mitchell's beach house?
The what?
Apparently.
Some of
Come
them
on,
went
Dave.
down.
Yeah.
I
We've
think
got
it
you
was-
here for your intel, mate. Come on.
Yeah, no. No, it was just, I think the acid was just put on him. It's like, if you guys aren't going to tackle, then maybe a couple of you can go and play in the twos. So, and yeah, it was good to beat the Dogs because I rate them. I can't believe that they're sort of sitting still outside the eight.
Speaking of, I think you're right. Like the Dogs are, you know, they've been pumped up a fair bit. They've done all right, but they're sitting ninth. So I don't think their record's not quite as good as what they've seemed.
Well, couple of weeks or before the Hawthorn game, they were being talked about as top four chance. Like that.
I'm surprised by how low they are,
Yeah.
given that.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
But it just shows how close the comp is, Sam.
True.
Like it's ridiculous. Anyone on any given day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Friday night, like the commentators kept banging on about, you know, Adelaide must prove a point here and win this game, win a close one. But it was wet weather footy and could have gone either way. I don't think you lose any fans if you had lost that. You know,
No.
Except us.
well, except you guys, yeah. But yeah, it's always Crows supporter glass half empty.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Not if you're Lauren. Lauren's class up full.
Yeah.
I expected this year
Very
to come in
positive.
and there's sort of, you know, you've got sex toys and self-pleasuring like you've been flying. You're all excited about what's going on.
This is a PG rated podcast.
We're not quite there yet.
Oh,
But,
sorry, what's the time slot?
But the Hawks, I think, are a bit of a smoky still. I think they could be anything if they get on a run, and obviously not having Sicily at the moment is hurting you a bit. But
Yeah, well, we probably haven't had him for a few weeks, and
Yeah.
it definitely wasn't his groin.
No.
Not his groin. Not his groin.
yeah,
But
But maybe something.
yeah, last time I checked the song, I think the hip bone is connected to the groin bone, is connected to the abdominal bone.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's clearly been playing a bit sore, but you know he's such a good footballer and he's a skipper. So
miss
I
him.
think you let him go out there at 90% if they say they're right.
Yep.
But yeah, we're missing him. But you know, we're also forgetting we've got Mitch Lewis still waiting
he's
for him
due
to come
back soon,
back.
isn't
We
he?
had him for 5 minutes last year, and all of a sudden he's gone again. So.
He drew back after
to
the
men-
bye.
Yeah, I think he was about 3 weeks last week. So, yeah, you guys miss him. But,
Not to mention your gun, Will Day.
well,
Yeah.
that'd be nice. Just watching him on the bench just made me all
Heartbreaking, isn't it?
fuzzy and gooey. But
That's
you
been
know,
that's
he's
been a big
just
gap
such
for
a
you.
quality player.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys haven't been the same team since he's been out. I don't think. Like
No,
that.
I don't think any team's the same. If it'd be like he's Jordan Dawson. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's-
Exactly.
and look, if you squint, they probably actually do. You know, they play similar roles. Like they're
Yeah.
tall, rangy, can mark. You know, just got that sort of weird, lopey, explosive run that looks like they're going nowhere, but they're leaving players in their wake. But it'd be lovely to have him, Lauren. Like
What-
he's he's
Gun.
Yeah.
Just hope.
Well, he'll be back right in time for the big stuff, I reckon. But what do you say to some of the people that said that the backline's lost a bit of identity, bringing Battle and Barras in, feeling a bit like conflicted back there.
Yeah, it's probably true. You know, the fact that Sam Frost had a great year last year and the bloke can't get a game, you know, like he's playing reasonable footy in the twos, but there's no way he's getting into that back line. You know,
Who came in for Sicily?
last week?
Sorry to put you on the spot. I can't
So
recall.
last week, Seamus Mitchell. So he went
So he didn't go
taller
with
for smaller.
Frost, yeah.
So I suppose he would have played that role.
Yeah, I was thinking he would
as
come
the
in.
extra backman. Who else do we have come in? Can't remember, but yeah,
the other
Seamus
young
Mitchell.
guy. The other young guy played. Or that might not have been his first game though, was it? Who was that? I'm
No,
looking at
Sam
now.
Butler. No, he came back from broken leg, so he
Yeah,
deserved
that was who I was meant. Yeah.
deserved a spot, and can't remember who else came in. But yeah, Mitchell replaced sort of Sicily. But yeah, look, I don't know. But we definitely look different defensively with those two big blokes there. But earlier in the season, Battle looked really comfortable when, you know, I watched a lot of him last year before he came, and I really was surprised by, you know, his speed and ball movement out of the back line, and he can play on talls or smalls, but he just seems to have been locked down a bit lately. I'd love to see him freed up and be able to do his thing. You know, Brass can stand there all day and just stand under the ball and mark it, you know, Stephen May like or whatever. But I'd like to see Battle just get off the chain a little bit if he can.
Yeah. And I was just going to ask, Damo, about the vision that we saw a couple of weeks ago in the loss to who were they playing? I can't remember. There was a bit of damning vision in the change rooms at half time with Sicily with his head in his hands and Jack Ginnivan and Nick Watson sitting up the top kind of away from the team. And then you got Ginnivan, you know, showing the ball to the Bulldogs, and Charles come out and said, don't like that. What's your vibe on the team, like, cohesion at the moment? Do you think that
No
it's there?
problem. Don't start driving wedges in where they don't
I'm the
exist.
Kane Corns of
Lauren.
this podcast.
Kane's our biggest fan. I think he's
He
going
is.
to.
He does
gonna-
like a bit of horse.
He loves the Hawks.
Yeah, I think Sam Mitchell's going to father Kane's next child. No, I think they're fine. I think when you're losing and getting sort of belted like we did against Collingwood, who we lose to the week before?
Someone else.
Someone else badly. There's always going to be scenes like that, like Max and Stephen May this afternoon. You know, Max makes one error in what could have been a BOG thing. Stephen May gets in his face and says, you know, nice kick, dickhead. And that's what they're talking about. But it's, yeah, I think there was a bit of soul searching when you've got, you know, 40 tackles 2 games in a row. That's pretty poor. So, and yes, showing the ball. You know, if I was CJ, I would have belted Willie Rioli as hard as I could and taken whatever weeks I got for it. And I think it's the most disrespectful thing you can do in football.
yeah.
So, no, I don't like that Jack was showing people the ball, but Jesus, good goal.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you
But he almost
got
missed.
to take the moments, but you know, you don't need to make him into a thing. You know,
I just think it's a dickhead move
It
showing
is a
someone the
ticket,
ball.
mate. No one
Like,
thinks it's good.
Well, someone did it this week. Didn't turn around. Just celebrated with the crowd. They clearly they were 10 metres clear. And
Yeah, who was
I
that?
can't remember who it was now. I actually was meant to write it in my notes.
One of the Carlton players.
Oh, was it Carlton? Yeah, it was.
yeah.
It might have been. It was the one who's always injured back with the floppy
Razio.
hair. Floppy hair. Williams, is it? Zach
Oh,
Williams.
it's Zach
Williams. It
Williams.
was Zach
Yeah.
Williams. And that one wasn't
here we
quite
go.
as bad, Sam. But
No, I don't mind that. No, if you're celebrating with the crowd, I think that's fine.
But the thing is, Guinea's playing amazing
Yeah, he's
footy.
back.
Right?
Yeah,
so
he's back.
it's, you know, he got dropped, and since he's been back, he's averaging. I don't know,
They're showing some vision of him now on the couch.
25
And
and
he's,
2.
Here he
Here we
goes.
go. Lethal would not be happy.
nah,
with that.
not good.
Yeah,
Showing the
I think that might be in
Oh
Lethal's.
yeah, he's not happy at all.
He's not happy.
Vardy
Now-
asks, is Baras's chest large enough?
Barras,
Yeah.
he's a big human.
He's a big
Like, he is a
He's got
big human.
He's got a big brain too, Brass. He's a big thinker.
is he?
Yeah, he's got a podcast. He's a pretty out there guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is the wizard back this week? Is he?
I
he
should
was off?
say, they didn't even tell us what the illness was.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when they say illness, it's normally they've copped a bag over the weekend or something.
What? Oh yeah, usually.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about in a 7:30 time slot down. That's a bag.
Vardy also said if Pedler had tried that Ginnivan ball showing move when he kicked his goal, ...
He didn't have time.
he would have got caught. Yeah.
He was stretching the leg out just to get over the line.
Guinea was about 50 metres in front. So
Yeah,
I
he
think
was.
he was all right.
Yeah.
Don't knock Lucky Pedler. You know I love Luke Pedler.
Oh. I didn't know that. Tell us more.
Yeah, I think last year, didn't I say something about
Yeah.
that the fact that he can't get a game is a reflection of how well you guys are travelling. So
You were wrong then, but maybe this year you might be right.
he's good.
Yeah. All right, let's get into a bit of Dennis action.
Oh, Dan.
Dennis.
Was not prepared for this.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Sam.
he sprung the Dennis.
Yeah. Oh, no. Have we gotten rid of it?
No.
Sam.
Here's the kick to Dennis. So we're right behind him, and the Carlton fans are right behind him. Once, twice, 3 times.
Oh, look at that.
Yes! He's the master blaster.
Just would like to talk about something we mentioned earlier before we started the podcast. I think Samuel might be a bit worried about my dialogue with the Dennis Armfield recently, and the fact that if we get if we actually get him on the show, he might not realise that we're taking the piss.
Yeah. Just a touch worried.
I messaged the Dennis Armfield recently and asked him to come on the podcast for the Carlton game, and he responded and said, maybe next time. He got the message a bit late, but
Right.
yeah. But I did say we've got a segment named the Dennis Armfield Award because of the time you torched the Crows, so he understands,
Right.
Sort of. But anyway, speaking of
Great. Good TV.
Hawthorn,
Yeah, what about him?
who's the Dennis Armfield of Hawthorn this week? Who's going to rip the Crows apart? Who probably hasn't been having the best season so far?
Well, it'd be nice to see the whiz to it, just to... Why? You know what? Do you know what I love? Is that anyone that hates him has got another 14 years of hating
Yeah,
him.
I know.
It's going to chew some people up, Sam.
We feel the same about Josh Rochelli, don't worry.
I like the Wizard more than Guinea.
Yeah, well, both of them are going to be around for a while, I tell you. Who is going to be Dennis Armfield this week? Could it be Jackie G just to come back and haunt you guys once again?
Well, he's in good form, so I don't know.
Well, he hasn't. His last couple of weeks have been a bit quiet, but he's not really supposed to be running around out there.
Wait, who are we talking about? Ginnivan?
No,
This is Jackie G.
This is the one.
Gunston.
I think it's the obvious Armfield. Gunston.
Gunston. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, we should call it the Jack
Hang on.
Gunston Award. He will
That's
torture
right.
us.
He used to play for you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you took the best first-year player award off him because he
Yes.
was leaving.
Yes.
Thanks for reminding us.
Was that Neil Craig days? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It wasn't Sando, was it? No. Neil
No,
Craig.
it wouldn't have been. No, he was a bit more mature than that.
Yeah, was he?
Well,
sure.
I think so.
Yeah, we think so.
Yeah.
But Gunston's been all right this year, but
He has.
he would be the ideal
Yeah.
Armfield
Just
nomination.
kick 4.
Yeah.
Just go. So
Yeah.
what's your team called again?
Yeah.
Including the match winner or something.
Crom.
That'd be very Jack Gunston.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe Jack Gunston.
Yeah, I'll pay that one.
Do you guys like playing down at Lonnie?
We've got a pretty good record. Although I
Is
didn't
Lonnie-
realise you guys. But actually, I think that was one of those ones we got a little bit nutted by the umpire. That 3-point loss. That
Nah, never.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, I do remember
it's a
that
beautiful sunny day, and
one. Yeah, there was a real dodgy
something
one at the
dodgy
end.
happened late in that game. But you know, we don't complain about
I
umpires
think
where we
Fog
come
was
from.
involved. I think Fog
Really young
I
Fog. or
can't
something.
recall. I don't remember it.
Anyway, but yeah, no, we've got a good record down there. It's going to be a. I was only down there last week, actually. It's going to be a balmy 14 degrees during the day and dropping to 0 overnight.
Yes.
It was -2 when we were in Lonnie the other
And it's
day.
Friday night game, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So they've had 2 or 3 night games in Lonnie ever over the whole journey, and they've got 3 there this year.
Yeah, right.
Can we
Which I
just get
think
down
is-
there for the second weekend of Dark Mofo and go
Yeah, well, that'd be good.
and then go over to the game?
do both of those, but it's probably a bit late to sort that out now.
Yeah, it might be.
Considering I'll be in Brisbane. So I think they're trying to sort of teach Tassie people a lesson, go, well, if you want some night games, you better get a stadium with a roof. But you learnt pretty quickly down there, just don't mention the war, and then a week after you come back, the government falls, and it's
very
really
messy.
it is so toxic. It's literally like I likened it to a family that has a Crow supporter and a Port supporter living in the same house, you know, or a Carlton Collingwood supporter in the same house. There's just hate all the time.
They're talking about the team being in jeopardy now and everything.
Well, that's what the commission said, that, you know, you don't build the stadium, you don't get the licence. So it's really, you know, it's a bit like, you know, the people that wanted to keep their bench seats when they upgraded the members here, and then when they were building the Eastern Stand, they went, oh, we won't be able to see the hills. Like, who are those people? And we don't hear from them anymore. So,
They're dead.
you know, just build the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Friday night it'll be pushing down towards 0 degrees. But I think the conditions look fairly good. So I don't know.
what do you see happening? Give us a tip.
I might get a late night flight.
Don't know. Well,
Lonnie's good.
last week
Love Lonnie.
my call was, if we tackle, we're a chance. And we did. But it'd be nice to see us back that up. But, you know, we recognise that, you know, you guys are a top 4 outfit this year, and that's not. I'm not taking the piss, and you know, you guys need to recognise that. I know there's a few doubters out there still, but I think you've got a really, really good, good footy team going. So, I don't know. Maybe do you actually want a tip?
Yes. I thought you were getting to it.
Hawks by 7.
Oh,
Go points.
I don't like it, Damian. No, Dames, we're going to get into our tips later, so we're not going to tell you what we think. But thanks very much for joining us again on Here We Crow.
Always a pleasure.
Always good to have you in. I like you coming in your Hawks gear. It's good.
always make an entrance, Damo.
Oh, well,
You know what? You got to come back in about 6 weeks because we're playing you again at home.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
playing you
right.
really
So
quick.
pencil it in.
Oh, you are,
Pencil
yeah.
it in.
What day of the week's that one?
Don't know. Haven't
find
checked.
out.
Haven't checked that far ahead. Maybe we should try
I'll
to
find
get.
out for
Maybe
you.
we should try to get Dames on and get another Hawks nuff on the line to just kind of like, you know, like that time. Have you heard about when we did Carlton last year? We had our usual Carlton nuff, which is one of my mates, Jason, and we got Anthony Koutafidis on the line at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Just to surprise him. Who you want? We'll just make a call. We'll get
Derm.
Term.
Yeah,
Kelly Underwood.
no, Term won't shut up. Is
Yeah,
Kelly
he
Underwood a
won't shut
Hawthorn supporter?
No, I don't know. But
No,
she works
she's
with
actually
Derm.
Crows, I think.
She's always on the phone.
She a Crows fan.
I think so.
Oh, Mark
From
Howard
Adelaide.
is, though.
She's always on the broadcast with Derm though.
Howie would do it.
Howie, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure he'd do it.
No, we'll get
Just
Buddy
to
on.
hear his own voice.
Buddy,
Yeah.
He won't say anything.
What about John Platten?
Yeah, Platt.
Get the rat on.
You could.
Yeah.
I reckon we could.
We'll talk about James. We'll take this offline.
Yeah, to maybe.
Just to answer your question, we're playing Hawks again, round 21, Friday, August 1st at 7:10 p.m. at Adelaide Oval. See you there
Yeah, come sit with us.
Yeah, I'll be there. Well,
or not?
no, don't get me started on ticket ballots and all that crap. But
Oh,
yes.
you'd get a nice hookup through Cooper's.
You
wouldn't
can have Ben's ticket.
Well, that's where we're looking for. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I've
Coopers?
got my seats in the
Coopers?
Cooper's box.
Come on, Coopers.
I'd be hoping
Hook us
because I
up.
don't. Yeah.
Surge your.
Serge
yeah,
is
come
our
on,
rep.
Surge.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on,
Serge.
Surge. You know
you
it.
didn't get back to me last week, Serge, but
I don't think
we're giving Coopers a pump up. So
That's it.
Yep.
Love
What, you
the
guys drinking
stout, guys.
Cooper's
Yes,
stout?
of
Yeah,
course.
of course
We are.
you
Every, stout every week. Cooper's stout every
Best-
single week.
Best
Product
out.
placement, though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's out
Well,
there.
yeah, I don't know where the bottles went. Oh, there's one.
They're out there.
Bring it over quick.
Need a bit of product placement. No, always a pleasure, guys. It's
Thanks, mate.
It's
Good to
good
see you.
to see you guys up and about.
Yes. Thank you.
And we'll see you in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Can't
Unless
wait.
we belt you and you probably just won't bother.
No,
putting it on that
We're not sore losers.
way. All right. Thanks,
See you,
guys.
James.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Samuel, we want to get into your segment, mate?
My segment?
Yeah. Segue.
Okay.
If you want to know what's in the spring, get into Rowan Jarman.
Hang out.
Are you still on? Or are you?
You're on.
Uh,
Hang out. You can hang out if you
Is
want.
this thing on?
Hello.
Testing.
Good things. Rowie saying lifts lidded when he was going off after the Crows.
Live the left.
Bloody hopeless.
Good to see you.
Samuel.
yeah, sorry. Other good things are Erin being the 119th slider.
I love that. And she hashtagged it as well.
So she obviously recognised it.
She's got
Did she?
it.
Yeah.
I reckon she did.
Is that someone with a good sense of humour, seeing that 119 was coming up and gave it to her? I hope so.
That was someone who had us in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't say anything on the night, but I'm putting corporate boxes in my goods and I'm not sitting in pleb section ever again.
Yeah. Love how you kept that so quiet.
Well, we're all getting rained on.
I was wet. Ben got there late. He sat down next to me and he's like, yeah, well, Sam didn't give me his ticket. And I was like, yeah, because I got it. and then he was like, yeah, well, he's in the corporate box tonight. I was like, sorry, what? I thought he just wasn't coming.
Yeah.
No, good on you. I'm always up for an upgrade. If you can get one, you take it.
Yeah, I would have rubbed it in if it was a nice night and everyone was in good spirits.
I would have rubbed it in. You should have just done it.
But it was quite this nice little moment where you had written in the chat, I'm right up the back and I'm getting rained on and I was eating steak. So it was, So thank you to CW Wines, who sponsor Port Adelaide. It's actually Port Adelaide's box, MG Suite. Look,
that's good. It's good you're in the Port box and Crows win. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it wasn't really many Port fans there at all. So they do the Crows games as well, obviously. But yeah, it was nice. I don't know. It always feels a bit like, I don't know. It's kind of a bit like, it's not like super upper class or anything, but they try and make it seem a bit, I don't know, it's a bit cheesy or something. I mean,
you're at a stadium,
nice. Yeah.
you know, like,
yeah.
I think, it was kind of the same when Kate and I went to the chairman's event at the end of last year. Like, the food is fine, but it's like you're in a stadium. Like, it's not going to be incredible. It's not, it's not a 5-star meal, but, free drinks, can't complain.
That was good.
Yes. So,
Lizzie did say that you were in tears trying to pick who to.
Yeah.
Nearly in tears trying to pick who to take with you.
No.
Who won?
No one won.
Really?
He was like, it's better not to take any of them.
Yes. Shut up, Lizzie. All right. What else did I have on here? Andor.
Well, you're a bit late on that, aren't you?
No, I am. I've only just finished it. But that was fantastic, that season. The second season was excellent. And the way that they just nicely just rolled it into Rogue One, the actual film, was excellent. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but it was really nicely done.
Where do you find time to watch all these shows?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It just happens.
Yeah, it just happens. Yeah.
Footwear sacrificed at half price and equipment slashed to half price. Rowan Jarman's huge half price sale. Don't miss it.
In the bad this week is Sam having a corporate box.
Keeping it a secret, I think it's in the bad.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. No, I did genuinely feel bad about that situation. It was just the weather.
I didn't even know about it, so never.
Yeah, that's right. Bad things. The Durham hit on Chera last night. Got 2 weeks, which obviously didn't hurt him.
It's not like I saw the hit and I didn't think he hit his head, although he did have a bit of a red mark there because it looked like it was more shoulder to me, but that is a stupid decision. Well, you just can't be doing that.
It's the act that they've been punishing the act, haven't they? Because
I don't know. Hey, sorry to cut you off, but the Tom Stewart one. Did you see that? He didn't get.
No, he got off.
He got off. He didn't hit him in the head though, like in the ribs. So I guess that's okay. But it still was the intent. He just went beelined him.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought the Tom Stewart one was fine because honestly, like the ball was in front of him when he elected to bump. It was a pretty typical football move. He didn't hit the head. He actually it was a perfect bump. He was very lucky that and he hit his head on the ground, and that's the thing that people are aware of. I think the Chera one is just like that is a dangerous attempt. Like he's too far to the ground. I don't know. It's just a bit silly. Bad decision making.
What about the baby giraffe, James Peatling, and his sling tackle?
The
Swan.
See, I didn't really think there was that much in it, but I understand why he was reported because it looked bad. It looked worse than I think it actually was.
Yeah.
But he's got to take that out of his game.
Yeah.
I think
the two-action tackle. thing.
Yeah.
I think, on the rewatch, and I'm biased as hell, so we know that, but it really looked like Lachie Neale had an arm free and could have put that down to protect himself. And then I've heard theories that, on the rewatch, noticed a lot of times that Brisbane were playing for frees and such, or emphasising things. And, someone was saying that he's a bit notorious for emphasising that kind of a action as well, which seemed really stupid as well. But
I think it's really hard to tell, like in that second motion, if it was Neil flinging himself or Peatling doing the flinging.
Yes.
And I think that's where the question comes into it. But I understand why the Crows are just accepting it, because it's like, okay, well, it's just one game. Like maybe if it was 2 or 3, then you kind of probably challenge it. But one game we can probably just get away with.
Yeah.
And, it might be a chance to bring someone like Draper in for a bit more minutes or something like that. So, not the best. Have you got any more?
Yeah, but we can keep going.
Well, I was just like, are you going to bring up the Kane Corns? Are we doing a Corns?
We'll do a corn
your
segment.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
After
Sorry,
this.
don't want to...
No, that's okay.
Spoiler alert.
Bailey Smith meeting with the AFL and senior Geelong leaders. And then,
Yeah, what?
And then was also
Yeah.
out for the game on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's smelly.
I mean, again, Geelong just fucking everyone's fantasy team.
Yeah. It's just weird though, isn't it? The way that they get treated. Like that's never happened before.
Yeah,
Like,
it is a Geelong thing, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like Geelong
going
are
on
the
there?
team that get the special treatment by the AFL, like in every aspect of anything.
Absolutely.
Jimmy Bartell said on Footy First last night that Andrew Dillon is friends with Bailey Smith's dad. So there's like
Oh, God.
a bit
my
of a
Lord.
personal relationship there.
Yes, but
And if it's reported that they're basically just trying to get him, I mean, and they did say this last night on the show, like he is the most marketable player in the AFL right now. They don't want him fucking writing stupid comments about doing
Why did it
lines
take a week and a half or 2 weeks since he did it then?
Well, maybe because he's got time now that he's got a hamstring that they can actually sit him down and talk about
Does
it.
he though?
Well, yeah.
I think
If you saw the vision that they showed, then yeah, he does. But
okay.
it's like, for him, and I actually use Rochelle as a good example of what he should be doing. Rochelle, as Gary Lyon calls him, is a brat. Like he is like, he's obviously not at the upper echelon of marketing, material as Baz is right now, because Baz is the phase of Cotton on, and he's got the Barry's drink, and he's
playing for
got all
Geelong.
that, the monster energy and all that kind of stuff, and the Geelong thing. But Rochelle is that similar kind of player, a bit silly, a bit cheeky. He, got his punishment end of last year, and he said on telly this week, he came back wanting to be a respected footballer. Like that's his aim. He can still be silly and still have his celebrations and be cheeky, but he wants to be respected for his game. And I think that's probably what the discussion was really with Baz, is just like, mate, you could be worth so much, but people won't respect you. If you have to just be professional. And I reckon that's all it was.
I do think though, like if there's a personal relationship there should be more effort to look impartial than to look more partial to Bailey Smith and trying to jolly him along through his career.
Well, I don't know if it's more like for the AFL, it's better that he is,
Toes the line.
Yeah, exactly. And it's in their better interest for him to do that. Whether or not he does is up to him.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens from here, I think.
I agree with you, and I think you're right. I think what probably gets people annoyed though is just the double standards, because it is Bailey Smith and he is a highly marketable character. Say if Miller did it, he would probably just get slapped with a 10 grand fine and the AFL suspended 10 grand fine and get dragged through the mud. Whereas Bailey Smith gets a special visit from the CEO. It's sort of, I don't know, it just feels so different to how they,
and I get it.
Yeah.
The optics of it aren't great.
yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to worry myself about little things like that, because I'm just like, well, at the end of the day, it's going to be his footy that does the talking.
Yeah, and I think Bailey Smith's good for the game. Like
Yeah.
I'm on his side really, but it's
We like our
it's
characters.
exactly.
We've got to let them have personality without taking it to an extreme where, especially because maybe unfortunately, but he is a role model for kids, and he, especially like he's still in that age where he's playing Fortnite and he's like still a young guy. So he does have to be kind of careful about what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's just been some chat about it, but I've just looked it up. Caro apparently on the agenda setters has said that Nathan Wanganeen Miller won't be coming to the Crows because of Tex being racist.
Oh my God.
I don't buy it at all.
Is she kidding?
Get out.
Well, I've
up.
seen on Twitter that a lot of people have pointed out that they're both following each other on Instagram. So if you're going to go by the 2025 standards of unfollowing and following, then looks like their relationship's fine.
Imagine bringing that back in to like with no substance.
St Kilda are aware of it. Wanganeen Miller are not wanting to join the Crows. That's her wording. But that's the wording she uses when I'm pretty sure she's just like clutching at straws.
Tex isn't even going to be at the Crows next year, probably. Like,
What's the bet that this came from Port? You know, who is it? Who is giving her that information? Port Adelaide, maybe? Hasn't this happened before?
I think, yeah.
Hasn't she reported something like this before? That they weren't interested in coming to the Crows and then that didn't pan out?
that pisses me off.
Maybe. Not sure.
Same.
Look,
It's such a big thing to bring in back into the public conscious, which has been out of
honestly,
a while.
well, look, put it this way: if it's true, well, that's up to him. Like
Yeah.
he can make that decision.
Sure.
If it's true, then I'm fine with it. Like it's his prerogative. But like for a media person to bring that in, I don't know, it just feels wrong.
I just feel, I think he can outwardly say if that's the case or not, or he can make no comment. And
No
it's
comment's
kind of
better,
like,
I think. But yeah,
you can't, who are your sources? Like
Yeah.
unless it's coming from his mouth, then maybe don't report that.
Feel like
I don't know. I don't feel that sorry for Tex.
I don't feel sorry. No, don't get me wrong. I don't feel sorry for Tex at all if that's true. Like, I mean, if it's true, Nasiah, fully understand it, fully get it. But I don't think it's the media's place to bring in this kind of rumour.
As Lizzie said,
It's a massive thing.
Lizzie's in the chat saying he's been actually doing stuff in cultural respect training. She's seen him do it. He's actually doing something about it, which, we don't hear publicly because, like I think
No
you
one
said
was
before.
allowed to say it. I knew about it, but we were told not to.
Yeah,
It
well,
was something that
and that's
wasn't allowed
because
to get told.
if he's like, look at me, I'm doing this, then it's like,
Doesn't look good.
He's going to lose either way. Like he can't be showboating how he's doing all the right things. He does have to do that on the down low. And I'm sure his relationships with the Indigenous players in the club at the time are probably not the same as they were before, and maybe won't ever be. But I think a lot of people have forgiven him for that and have moved on. And he's very clearly influencing players like Rankin and, Miller still gets around him as far as I can see. So, I think it's not something I think we have to really concern ourselves with too much.
No.
But again, like if that's the case, it sucks, but understandable. And if it's not the case, then Caro, what the fuck?
Yeah, I got the feeling he wasn't coming here anyway, so I think it's
Yeah.
just
I
like
mean,
shit, really.
it's just a shit thing to bring back in to the agenda, I think.
Two more quick ones. Stephen May pushing his captain around at the end of the Melbourne game seemed a bit unnecessary, I would have thought.
Emotions running high.
Yeah, Stephen May seems like a bit of a dickhead. So,
Flog.
yeah.
Max pushed him, but
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
it was just
that's
him
right.
getting
He
in
was-
Max's face.
Yeah, which just seems so stupid. Anyway, but the worst thing, the buyers in general can just get
Too many.
This shit, 5 weeks of this crap, and it went especially worse when it's spread over 4 days. Was it Thursday, Friday, like 5 days? It just seems so stupid. Anyway, that was all I got.
I did have a good story
Oh, yeah,
that I meant to
let's
jump
hear it.
in with. Yes, because it's Crows related. A few weeks back, Lauren, you might have copped one of these. The Gold and Legends members got a text saying, it was before the West Coast game, saying if you want to enter for an experience at the club, you can enter.
I entered it.
Yeah, so did I. I entered
you
it
got
with
it?
my mum and got in. So,
Yes.
so what we ended up being able to do is we went to the open training session they had the day before the game. So it was on Saturday morning. And we got to kind of watch most of the training. Towards the end of the training, we got taken onto the boundary of the field, kind of got walked around, got to watch sort of the goal kicking practice from on the field, on the side. And it was probably about 80 members all up. I think it was sort of, you could nominate like another member as your guest. So I took my mum.
Yep.
And we then got to go down the players' race and into the change rooms through the race, which was very cool. Got to line up and got, most of the players came through. We got things signed or had some photos.
Who'd you get photos with, Kate?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was a bit shy at first. I was like, I'll just get a couple. And then by the end, I was just getting photos with everyone who came down the line. So all the good names. And everyone was really all of the players were really lovely. The last time I got anything sort of signed by a Crows player, I was probably in my early 20s. Yeah. And they were a little bit more personable and chatty than the dudes back in the 90s.
Oh, that's good.
2000s by I was 20. But yeah. And so they all kind of came through and did that. Then we got taken into the bunker, had a free feed and softies and stuff. And then Burjo and Burns did a little interview with the people running it and sort of talked about where the club's at. And we got to kind of hang around and eat for as long as we wanted. And it was really awesome. And I felt very special. And I'm someone who in the past has filled out year after year of those members' surveys to give my opinion on how neglected and taken for granted I've felt that the members have been at times. It got to the point where I was so fed up at the end of 2021 with the amount of rubbish that had happened to me personally with my membership that I tried to complain to member services, got nowhere. So I wrote a letter and sent it directly to John Olsen and Tim Silvers, and they both, John Olsen called and apologised to me on a voicemail.
You go, girl.
So
I
to go from that to actually feeling like the club is trying to, it didn't take a lot to do something that felt really special as a member. And, the Zoomers who were running it from the club were really enthusiastic and just were saying, we're really hoping if this goes well, we can do more of this for our members. You guys really deserve it. And
that's great.
it was so cool. So keep your eyes out. There might be more things that the club might offer. And
upgrading to gold is worth it.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, but I got the text. I could have won too.
I upgraded to gold before we moved to Adelaide Oval, and it has got me to one losing grand final and pretty much nothing else. So I was pretty happy with that. I just want to commend the club for shifting things and doing some things to kind of treat their members. Hopefully more people can have some experiences like that too.
Nice.
Love
Very
that.
good, Kate.
Yeah.
We've got a sax man in the chats, by the way.
Yeah,
Hi,
I saw
Matt.
that.
Yes.
What are we doing next?
You're
So Kane?
You're so
yes.
Kane.
I shouldn't have said that before I looked up where the button was. That was
This
stupid.
again. Come on, Samuel.
Oh my God.
Yes. Well done.
We need to sort this boy out so badly.
We.
Oh, I need to.
You're so Kane. I bet you think this part is about you. You're so Kane, so Kane. You probably think this part is about you, don't you, don't you? I think at this point, Kane is just getting a bit sad with how much of a meal ticket Crows fans are for him. And just riling up Crows fans just for the sake of it. He comes out after, the other game the other week saying we're flopping all the time. And now... his latest one. Tell us more, Kate.
Oh, me, because I put it in the
You
chat.
put it in there.
Oh,
I haven't watched the video.
Oh, right.
Full
Yeah. Well,
disclosure.
he decided that, our new logo wasn't appropriate and we should be the Adelaide Ducks. Because apparently in that Brisbane game, we were ducking all the time. He called out Sam Berry and Peatling in particular. And it was so... Anyway, I'm someone who... Kane gets riled up, even though I know that's what he's aiming for. I think it was having rewatched the game and realised on the rewatch how much Brisbane were playing for frees at times. It was so frustrating. And he mentions Hawthorn and he's like, other teams, get away with it as well. But all the vision was us. He kept talking about us. And one of the things he showed was where Lachie Neale was kind of doing this to Peatling and sort of, looking like he's slipping. But that was after Peatling had done the dangerous tackle on him. So when I was watching that, I felt like it was Neale having a go at Peatling and saying, yeah, you got reported for that. It wasn't Peatling who ducked at that point. So he had his facts all wrong. And I just think classic Kane.
To me, when I am looking at that, and I can see why people would think that the players are ducking, but to me, they're just head over the ball. And the onus is on the tackler to tackle correctly in that circumstance. They're inside mids. Like that is literally their job, to get in over the ball. And if you're being tackled and you try and break a tackle and your arm lifts and the umpire calls high, that's not your fault. Like that's them making a shit call. I don't know. I think it's kind of bullshit.
I've always felt a bit wrong about the whole ducking thing. I felt like, I know probably, people would disagree with this, but Selwood used to always cop it all the time. And I never felt like he was that bad. Like he just had a name for it because
I felt like he was that bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think it just happened multiple times every game. It wasn't the odd occasion. And I think if the incidents that Kane's calling out are happening, it's like once or twice a game. I don't think it's always intentional.
I feel like every team does it though.
Yes.
And I think, I don't know, when does it become a point where it's actually good midfield craft to get into
Well, because the umpires keep paying the free
That's
kicks.
right.
That's the problem, isn't
Yes.
it? So, I actually disagree with all you guys. I think we are doing it. Is a massive tactic we have employed this year. It might seem like a tactic, maybe more because we brought Peatling in, who is very good at it and does it all the time. But we've seen Tex do it. Like we've seen other players do it I think it's. I see what Lauren's saying about you need to learn how to tackle better. But the problem is when you go in for a tackle and you manage to get your arm underneath the tackler and you lift your arm, there's only one place that hand is going, or that arm is going from the tackler, and that's into the neck. So it is absolutely a tactic. I think we are absolutely using it. So Kane has a point. My problem with Kane is obviously just singling us out for multiple weeks in a row when every club does it. My biggest problem in totality is that the umpires need to stop paying free kicks for it.
That's right.
I like the other angle of Lawrence with Peatling just having a longer neck.
That's right. That neck is really long.
I think you need to put that on our tile this week.
Because Barry's always done it. Barry's done it the whole time he's been playing for us. It's a tactic that he's used. But that's the thing. It's stupid umpiring, isn't it? Because as soon as they touch the head, it's given a free. So the players are going to keep doing it.
That's the solution.
It's kind of smart. But yeah.
Vardy says Launceston will be an absolute duck pond this week.
Yeah, and I'm not heading over. I'm not heading over, guys, because it's going to cost $1,000 in flights.
Yeah,
last minute.
Lauren has been
That's
checking
shocking.
flights during the pod.
Yeah, wow.
That's so bad. I know that Dark Mofo's on, but it's not on in Launceston, is it?
Oh, sometimes they do things
do a
up
little
there,
bit.
but it's
that's
not the main
bullshit.
event. No.
Jacking up the
Should have thought
prices.
about this earlier.
Do we have Bozza? Have we got Bozza?
I don't think we have anything from.
Or is Nuz still calling in?
Oh yeah, Nuz. Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
Nuz to
Nuz.
call in.
Give us a ring,
Yeah.
Dad.
We want to hear about the SANFL.
Actual SANFL to talk about.
Yeah, they finally played a game.
Yeah, wow.
It's incredible.
So rare.
Stop-start season. Yes. We'll get Nuz on the line very shortly. Very shortly. Yes. I'm just padding out.
No, I'm trying to help you. I'm like, what have I
Thank
got?
you.
Oh, here we go. Hang on.
Oh,
That's
that?
That's my cool ringtone. Don't you know anything about that? Hello. Sensible Crow.
Hello.
Hey, hi Nuz.
Nuz.
where's this song?
G'day, guys.
Long time no Nuz.
That's right. Yeah, the SANFL had their 13 buys and they had their game.
All right, we're going to bring you in properly, Nuz.
That's the worst one.
What were you thinking when you recorded this?
Did you turn it down?
That's the best bit. I was trying to be like quiet at home. I was like, no one wants to hear this. And I feel like Snoop
right.
and Snoop Dogg when he sings, he's had a few blunts, so he's like
Mumbly.
mumbly.
Anyway. Keep
Well,
hosting.
speaking of
Hello, Nuz.
Jump in, Nuz.
Welcome.
yeah, thank you very much. So the Crows actually played a game in the SANFL. I don't know what's happening next week. I think it's safe to assume that
They'll be
you
off
just
for another
assume
3
it's
weeks.
a bye.
Yeah.
I heard
And
it's a
then if
buy.
it's a game, if it's a game, then you celebrate, but just assume that it's a bye.
Yeah.
I've heard
It's
that
the
it is
safest
Nuz.
Yeah. You actually, wait, are you serious?
Yeah. I asked
No,
someone and they were
surely-
like,
wait.
yeah, it's a buy. Which is nuts.
I'm on the wait. I'm just checking now. Surely not.
Well, we got another
No,
bye.
it's not.
Oh.
No, that's a piss take.
Oh,
No, we're
thank
playing.
God. Goodness.
No, next week we're playing the Bulldogs. Saturday, 14th of June at 1:40. But we'll talk about this week. We won by a point. The game was look. I'm not going to spend a whole lot on it because we've got the under-18 championships on as well, and I'll mention that too. So the game itself was just awful because of the conditions. I've played at that oval, and it is just open to the elements. It was so windy, so blustery.
It was brutal.
It was just. I mean, it was really. You can't take much of this game away in terms of like who performed well, but there are a couple of things I want to mention.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, the endeavour to want to actually come back and win.
Yeah.
Firstly,
Very
and not
good
give
comeback.
up. That was So we actually ended up winning by 1 point, and we almost had no right to. The way we were playing in the first half, we were playing disgustingly bad football, and we weren't playing into the conditions whatsoever. Obviously, South are used to those blustery conditions. But in the second half, it was good to see Sid Draper get 20 touches and a goal because his first half was really ordinary. But he ended up getting 7 tackles as well and a few clearances, a few inside 50. So I'm glad that he found a way to get himself back into the game.
Yeah.
So that was good to see.
Oh, good.
If you can believe it, that is a bye. It's a split round. We don't play.
Oh, for God's sake.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, sorry to put you out.
What
of
is
your
wrong
groove
with the SANFL?
It's crazy, isn't
It's
it?
so weird.
You would be spewing as a player. Like,
Yeah.
even if
Yeah.
you're not trying to knock the door down for an AFL spot, you would just be spewing like,
Yeah.
you want to play every weekend, don't you?
It's weird.
It doesn't even make any sense. Like when I played amateurs, like in the AFL, which is one underneath the SANFL, they'd have one bye in the middle of the season and that was it. Like this is people that barely train, that like,
Yes.
pull hamstrings constantly. If it's good enough for them to be able to play, it's good enough for the SANFL. I don't know what they're thinking. Anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
So, look, Charlie Edwards is on everyone's mind. He got 24 touches, 22 of those were kicks, and not only that, it was his rebounds from 50 that was the key. Just he's a 70, 80-metre player, and it's unfortunate because Oscar Ryan has done a jaw, so that's why he wasn't on the stat sheet.
Yeah,
so he'll
it's a
be
bummer.
back in a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's real shit, but look, it's clearly not his season. He'll come back later in the second half of the season, but at the moment it's all about Charlie Edwards.
Yep.
He got 30% of the rebound 50s for the whole
Wow.
team,
That's
the
huge.
entire team,
So they trust
which is
him.
insane.
I look forward to seeing
Yeah.
him play in 2026 or something.
Yeah, for Richmond or Essendon, coming up for a trade.
Yeah, you said he was on everyone's lips, Nuz. I don't know about Matty Nix.
Yeah, well, it seems that way. He wasn't in their last interview, Matty Nix had, and he mentioned Bond. So Bond actually played really good, and it's good to see him getting more touches as well. He got 16 touches because one knock on Bond was that he wasn't getting enough of the pill and distributing it, but he did a really good job of that as well. So, I'll be a bit forgiving about how what the accuracy of the kicking was, but it was good to see Bond getting in the numbers too. And a few just quiet mentions to Nan Curvis played decently. Zach Taylor, poor in the first half, much better in the second. I liked Dowling's game. Didn't get much of it, but had quite a few tackles. Chase Jones had a few tackles as well and was around, but I think that his days are numbered, as we've mentioned. And Lockie McAndrew, 16 touches, 32 hitouts, 8 clearances and 11 tackles.
Wow.
Yeah, right. That's handy.
Wow.
Let's go, Lockie.
But, however, there is a little star asterisk next to the clearances because there were 13 frees paid for ruck infringement.
Ugh.
13.
13, yeah.
my
Lockie
gosh.
McAndrew 4, 6 and 7 again. It might have been 12. I don't know, but like it almost seemed like every time there was a ruck contest, they'd just pull. I don't know if they were doing it on purpose to try and get the game flowing a bit better, but it just wasn't on. It was a terrible look all round.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, interesting.
All right. Well, anyway, that's pretty much what we need to spend on it because it was a terrible game and we need to move on quick.
What did we do? What about Draper, Nuz? It looks like he had an all right game.
Yeah, I mentioned him at the start.
Oh, sorry.
No. It's just his first half was really poor, but his second half was much better. It was good to see him get back into the contest, but it wasn't enough to bang the door down.
Yeah.
If you're looking at players that were banging the door down, it would have been Lockie Scholl was great on the wing, but we know what he does. Charlie Edwards, of course, and Hugh Bond.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we got, I think that's the thing. We got Peatling out automatically this week with the suspension. So that's at least one change.
Yeah.
And then, whether they roll the dice and text again, who knows? But that's probably the only changes I could see happening.
Yeah.
So
Well, who do you think is going to go in? It's going to be an interesting call because there's no one that's instant automatic replacement. Do we dare put Laird in the midfield?
Well,
No, we can't
do
now.
not
He's
do
too
that.
good in the back.
if you go like for like with Peatling, you're probably going to give Draper a game. But if he's not knocking down the door, then what
Do
we
you
go?
wonder if we'll just see a bit more of Rankin and Rash in the CBAs?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
I think that's what the inevitable. I've seen that written across Twitter quite a bit. I think that's the obvious choice. Even a bit of Keys and Neil Bullen can play in there.
Still
There's
doesn't
enough players on our list that can cover Peatling for one
What about throw Hinge in there and bring back Nank? Or
Yeah.
Edwards?
Yeah, Edwards is
Well,
sub.
it would be, watching Edwards make his debut at the, windy fortress that is Launceston would be akin to watching Ben Davis make his debut.
I thought of that too.
Yeah, maybe save it for the
yeah.
Richmond game. What do you reckon the chances of him debuting for the Richmond game after the bye are?
Well, it depends on injuries, of course. Matt Nix is really, he hates changing sides for the sake of it. But I will just imply this. We did it last year and we keep doing it. We don't take advantage of momentum in the SANFL. For some reason, we just discount it entirely. We think, no, it's not worth it. I don't know, like they say one thing and then do another.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating. Just take advantage of him having good touch. You won't go wrong. Look,
I think the thing is
Yeah.
putting someone that's in touch in the SNFL ahead of someone who's in touch in the AFL. Like if there's no one in the AFL that's really out of touch, but you could argue, as we did earlier, Pedler had a really poor game. So if you bring in someone for Pedler, that's one option. But
Or is it just because they think that gap is still too big between the AFL and SANFL, Noz?
yeah, but there's only one way to fix that, isn't it? I mean, why are we trusting Curtin so much when his stat line was far worse than Edwards was in the SANFL? Why are we trusting him so much?
Nuz, shut up.
We've given him no, but he's taken his 15 games and he showed what he can do.
That's true.
And
No, it's great.
Edwards has enough class; he would do the same thing. We just need to give these guys a bit of time and patience. I mean, we need to stop treating the kids like the lepers and the incumbents like they have to go back in. I mean, anyway,
This is exactly why I think the Crows should let us interview Matthew Nix or, at least someone in the coaching department, because it would be really...
Scott Burns.
Well, you'd love that, wouldn't you, Sam? I
about Murray?
reckon it would really be interesting to hear their perspective on that kind of development and when they pull the trigger and why. I would really love to know that. So Adelaide Crows, if you're listening, come on, give us the white whale.
The white whale.
well, look, I'll speak to Justin Reid at the end of the season. I'll try and, as I slowly build up my rapport over the years, I'll ask him the harder and harder questions. So hopefully I can ask him about that.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
But look, I want to talk about the under-18s because it kind of coincides a little bit with Nazai Wanganeen-Millera, doesn't it, when you think about it? Because if we had to get Wanganeen-Millera, if we were to get him, we'd have to use 2 first-rounders, it seems, and which is fair. That's the price you pay for someone of his quality and the amount you're paying with the contract. And the first-rounders won't be that high anyway because of where we're finishing on the ladder. So if we don't end up using those 2 firsts, then we have a first rounder to use. And who would that be on? Well, we can discuss. Mitch Stevens is the obvious name that's on everyone's lips at the moment. He is actually playing for Victoria Country and playing very well, and is the son of Mark Stevens, of course. So he's a bit of a halfback flanker, can pinch hit in the mid. He's pretty much just like Charlie Edwards, to be honest. So He probably doesn't want to come to the club then. No, Mitch Stevens. He's been really good in underage years as well. So he's definitely on the fast track. I don't think he'd be taken in the first round, which leaves a few names open. And one of them, played very well with Sid Draper last year in the 18s, and that's Dyson Sharp.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So pretty much everyone's heard of him by now.
Sure.
The knock on him was that he's a bit slow and a bit kind of big and like a Paddy Cripps type. He reminds me exactly of Jared Berry. That's who he reminds me of, Dyson Sharp. And, he's not that kind of top-end elite Sam Walsh was in his year or Harley Reid. He's not that type. He's just a really good, solid player who can do everything quite well.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem to excel at anything except for extracting the ball and clearances, just like kind of Paddy Cripps does.
Mm-hmm.
But he's an absolute tough beast. He's man mountain type. He's about 189, big shoulders. He'd be ready to go from round one.
Sounds like a pretty electric player.
Yeah, he got
Dyson
32
Sharp.
touches and 2 goals. So, and that was against Dick Metro. We beat them 100-39. So. I missed something.
Yeah, these two idiots are laughing, but Lauren and I didn't hear it.
Carry on. Lauren chose probably not to hear it.
I rolled my eyes.
Oh.
I can't even remember what it is.
So Dyson Sharp would be one, but he's probably a bit out of our range for the first rounder if we do end up keeping that. But Gold Coast are looking to sell their pick 4 for extra points because they've got all those academy kids, of course. So we may very well snag pick 4, quite easy to do, and then we'd have Dyson Sharp, and then we'd have their midfield of the future in an instant. So don't think if we didn't get Wanganeen Miller that it wouldn't work out well on the other end.
Yep.
Couple of names to look out for in the lower end for South Australia playing very well. Sam Cumming, he's like a silky type player. So is Matt Larray, and then a couple of others, Luke Candy, Jim Kelly, and Aidan Schubert is a good second tall key forward. And Aidan Schubert, look out for that name because he's gone from pick 100 to pick 20 in the space of 2 games. He's been really good. One player is is Cody Curtin, brother of Dan.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
Don't forget him, no. Well, unfortunately, he keeps playing really well, so someone has to tell him to chill out.
Yeah. Dan getting his ear.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, so he's playing that second ruck key forward role really well. He got 3 goals against Vic Country, same game as Mitch Stevens played, and quite a few hit outs, and just looked too good, too strong, too big, too tall. So if we could get him and Mitch Stevens, I'll be very happy. But if we could get those 2 plus Dyson Sharp, I think no one would even bat an eye that we didn't get Wanganeen Miller.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to know we've got options.
We do. Many options. Don't fret, people. Don't fret.
No one's fretting. Now, Nuz, because we haven't heard from you in a while, give us your status on how you think the Crows are going, the big boys.
Good, and you can tell we're going good because Vic Media are very anti-Crows at the moment. And to just remind people to embrace the hate. If they're talking, it means that we're playing well.
Yes, it's true.
And that's from an outsider's point of view. No, it's the belief. Don't ever underestimate how much mental fortitude is important in winning games of football. I mean, it's how Collingwood win their close games constantly. It's because they believe they can. And I think that Brisbane game was far more important than the Sydney game. And they're all different in their own way. We're winning. We're finding new ways to win, and that's just what good teams do. Even if you're the worst team, finding ways to win. It's really important. And if we beat Hawthorn this week, lid's off. Done.
Wow.
Well, my lid's off already. I'm in advanced lid stage, but I'm feeling pretty good about things. So I'm glad you are too, Nuz.
Yeah,
Yes,
excellent.
that's great signs.
All right, Nuz, thanks very much for joining us again. And always good to get your insights on the SANFL and the upcoming draftees of the 2025 group. We look forward to it.
Thank you. And just want to quickly mention as well, after the championships, I'm going to plan on doing another podcast and talk about trade and list management and or the 18s championship. So anyone who needs to hear that, that'll be on your channel, of course, on the podcast channel.
Amazing.
And that'll be in 3 or 4 weeks' time, I'd say.
Awesome.
Perfect.
That sounds great.
Be good to get some actual knowledgeable stuff on the pod for a game. Thanks. Cheers, Naz. Always good to hear from
No
you.
worries, guys. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Naz.
See you
Bye,
later,
Naz.
Naz.
Be rude.
All right. Have we got Bozza at all?
No Boz.
No, Boz?
Boz's day off, mate.
Well, we can.
He's having a long weekend.
Let's. What about social media before we get into a bit of stuff on the game?
I have a Dirk.
Oh, I'll read it.
You
Fabulous.
want to read it? All right.
You read it
Do
too
you need
slow.
to do the
don't
social media
There's
thing
not enough
first?
enunciation when you're reading Dirk.
Is this part of the social media?
I like to
segment?
think that how I read Dirk is how he writes it.
Samuel,
Sorry.
are we going to press
Press
the
the
social
button.
We've got a
media?
special Dirk.
Oh, special.
Dirk's
Oh, but-
DMs.
Actually, I haven't changed. I'm pretty sure it still does.
This is the,
Darcy Fogarty's.
Oh, yeah.
Does it?
Where is it? It's not even in there.
I don't think it does.
Might be on the autoplay thing.
Yes.
Oh, they can
fixed
probably.
it.
They might be able to hear it though. Still.
No, I don't think so. I think I deleted it last week.
All right.
It's all good.
Here's one in Dirk's DMs. A seriously special win. I publicly prayed to Jesus at the start of the fourth quarter, and well, I'm full on religious now.
Jesus.
Uncle Chris can say what he likes, but me and my ma booed the absolute balls off of everything Brizzy. In that last quarter, it annoys absolutely everyone equally, but you can't prove to me it doesn't work. So good. Gosh, so wholesome. I was high-fiving strangers and taking photos with passers-by. So great was the revelry, I lost my phone. Public service announcement. Set up Find My iPhone. It's a heaven sent. Sorry, that's my religion again. I could see where it was and what purchases were being made. None. I left it in the dunny because in that last quarter I was pooping myself. We all were though, right? Amen. P.S. Max Michaelani is a junkyard junkie dog. He was beating the piss out of Jets Cameron and vice versa. It must have been a dare from Brody and Lady because they were going hammer and tongs all match. They probably told Charlie to do the same too. You'd love to see it. Must check if they shook hands at the end though. No doubt they did. And did you see Charlie absolutely lay Lady out there at one moment? And there was a really good shot of Lady's bum from behind after he was laying out on the ground.
Can't say I noticed that.
What are you looking at me for?
Don't
You
know.
still want me to keep
It's
going?
going up the stairs.
Go on social media.
Well, do we have?
That was a Dirk.
I don't know if we
Very
really
good
got
Dirk.
much, to be honest.
don't-
Did we get anything from your story?
Yeah, have a look. Roscoe the Bosco says his lid's currently in orbit.
Wow.
Jesus. That's all we got.
And Mr. Drawsome says that Smith said on 5AA that he's ahead of Edwards. He's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Good. I love that sort of chat.
Would he actually say that?
Probably.
I guess, well, maybe
Yeah.
he would.
Well, it's pretty much just carrying on from what he said
I was
on
going
the.
to say, he has form on
look,
that.
look, it's true. It's obviously true.
Yeah. And Smithy was awesome as a sub on the
Nick's has been
weekend.
pretty open about saying that if a younger player is up to it, then they're going to come in over the senior player. So, well,
He's
I'll
like
believe
us-
it when I see
Yeah,
it.
there's been no evidence.
Yeah.
well, it has happened because Brody's been dropped and Nate's
Yeah.
come in and all that kind of stuff. So,
Nank did deserve to get dropped at the time, I think. So.
Yeah.
no, but I'm just saying Brody came in and then got
Oh,
dropped
no,
and then
yeah.
Nate came back in. So, you know,
Yeah.
he is true to his word. Yeah, look,
Sample size of one.
I'm sure there's been others. Dan, I just can't think of them right now. Okay.
Yes.
Just don't like the long sleeves from Smith, Matt reckons. I like the long sleeves.
Yeah.
Nah, but we love the sleeves, Maddie. What are you talking about?
I always like.
People have strong opinions about the sleeves, don't they?
Yeah,
I
don't know
love
why.
anyone who wears the sleeves. I'm down.
It can only
Yeah, I
be
like
one though,
sleeves.
can't it? Is that our rule? Or is that
It's
another
usually
club?
one.
We usually
Oh,
have Nate wears them, Rochelle wears them sometimes, and Smith wears them, and sometimes Murphy as well when he's playing in the cold.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
because Murphy did stand. No, it's
It is
Sleeves
interesting
and
though.
sleeves, not Smith. Yeah.
not all of us had sparklers surrounding us on the night mat. So
yeah, that's true.
It doesn't seem to be multiple players though. That yeah, you're right. It's always in one. It seems to be.
Some feel the cold more than others.
That's it.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm really feeling good about it. I think the weekend was just like such a good steadier of the nerves. Do you know what's funny is like halfway through that last quarter, and I did, like I said earlier, I did say to Ben at 3/4 time, like we're going to need a miracle here, and then Dawson took that grab. But this weird wave of like relief came over me during that, like in the middle of that last quarter, and I turned to Ben and I said, I feel weirdly good right now. Like I don't feel anything. I'm not anxious about this. Like I feel like this is going to go our way somehow. And what do you know? It did in the end.
You got the vibe
My
line.
body knew that we were going to win that game.
Can you text me next time that happens? Because I was not experiencing that.
I mean,
I was very worried.
My anxiety leading up to the game was extreme. And at the end of the game, you all saw that my heart rate was 119 BPM.
I'm more stressed about this game than I
You
was.
are?
Yeah.
I'm not at all.
Nah,
I'm weirdly not stressed.
I'm less now. I'm like, I think we can beat Hawthorn and we probably should, but if we don't, I'm not going to be that
It's the
disappointed.
expectation that gets to me, though.
Yeah.
And
Because
how we handle it. Yeah.
Because there's an expectation now that we win, whereas I know we're favourites against Brisbane, but I didn't expect us to win.
Before we came into this run of 3 games, I had us losing all 3 because that was just glass half empty type historical stuff. But to win the first 2, now I'm like, if we lose the third one, it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not. No.
It'd be good to win it though.
Yeah.
So talking about it, Hawks, they're not probably at full strength without Sicily and obviously Sam Day.
Yeah.
Will
the other
Day.
one. Not Sam Day, the Suns one.
Not very good one.
Yeah, the other one.
No, he
Will
plays
Day.
at Brisbane now.
Yeah. So I think if you're gonna, gonna beat Hawthorn, now's the time to do it. We have shown that we can beat them down in Tassie by that 3.1 we won a couple of years ago. But
It makes it hard because the Hawks are a bit unpredictable. They
Yeah, they
obviously played really well, but that was off the back of a bad week, and that was their response game. So it's also like whether they can maintain and sustain that. And, if they're having a bit more of a year akin to our year last year, like chances are it'll be up and down. But also Tassie, like in Melbourne, I'd give us a better chance, to be honest, I think.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad they had their response game last week because
Yes.
that means they're not going to be quite as up and about this week, maybe. I give us a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
We don't have Boz's selections. We don't really have Ben's stats. So, but I think in terms of selections, I expect it's obviously going to be Peatling out. And then whether we make another change or not, I don't know. We don't like to be too unsettled, so maybe we won't make more than one change. We could drop Pedlar based on the 3 disposals. But it's who we bring in I'm curious about.
Yeah.
Look, the forecast is 14, minimum 0, morning frost, partly cloudy, slight chance of shower, light winds. Like weather's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be like too blustery as you might think.
And it's a good oval in Lonnie. It's just can sometimes be very poor weather. So
If they want to keep the consistency of ins and outs, they probably bring Draper back into the sub or something. I can't see them really going out and bringing in someone like Murphy or I don't know. Who knows?
but that means Smith plays.
yeah,
Smith and
yeah,
Leo
Smith. They
full
probably
games.
both play.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also Zach Taylor is another option.
That's right.
Yes.
I think Nud said he didn't have the best game, but
Yeah.
Poor first half, I think Nuz said, but he lifted in the second half.
similar to Draper. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I really don't know. There's a few ways they can go this
It's going to
week.
be interesting.
I think we're going to take a lot of confidence out of the weekend, to be honest. I
Definitely.
reckon that's really going to cement the boys' confidence in that they can play out those games. And, like, their pressure was really good on the weekend. Not quite as good as the Sydney game, but, I think it's going to, like, they can pretty much do anything at this point. So I reckon, I'm hoping that's going to buoy them to a big win over
What's
the
your tip?
Hawks.
What's your tip?
I'm going to go Crows by 3 goals.
3 goals, Sam?
Yeah, I'm going to say the same.
All right. Kate?
Yeah, I'm going to back us, but maybe by like a couple of goals. Yep.
I'm going to do something I've never done in a long time. I'm going to back us by 6 goals.
Wow.
I reckon.
wow.
Dan.
6.
I reckon
Confidence.
we're going to be up and about. We're not going to take it easy this week. We're going to come out, pump them. I reckon now Hawks are the ripe for the picking. It's time.
Let's
Yep.
get him.
But like I said before, I won't be disappointed if we lose by a couple of goals. I think we've shown our credentials now. Losing in Tassie in shit conditions probably isn't going to be the worst thing.
No,
that
like
happen.
the way we've gone about the last 2 weeks means, again, the pressure's not on. It's not this, and otherwise our season's going downhill. So if we can rattle Brisbane the way that I feel like we did at the end of the game last week, then we can rattle Hawthorn. So I think we're in with a good chance.
Nice. All right. Well, that's it. We'll see how we go Friday night.
Just a reminder to everyone, we have 25% off merch at the moment. We're closing down the merch shop.
Shut down. It's
Now's
countdown
the
to shut
time
down.
to get a hoodie if you're freezing, because the game was so cold on the weekend. And we're just going to get more of them. So grab some merch while it's hot.
Indeed.
And
I was
also,
reasonably warm.
hey?
I was reasonably warm.
Yeah, I bet you were. Also, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/crow.
Thanks for listening to episode 124. Ben, I'm sure will be back next week, so you'll get to hear his dulcet tones once again.
No quiz though.
No.
What's he going to
Yeah.
do?
Quiz is done. He'll
We're
have
gonna
to think
to
of
make
something.
another
He's
segment
gonna
up.
have to, he's going to have to find something new.
Yeah. We'll see.
Challenge
Good
is
him.
on, Ben.
That's his week off task.
Yeah.
Bozza should be back next week too. This is unheard of.
Yeah, that we should let everyone know that if we win this weekend, we'll probably be back next week. But if we lose, we're taking 2 weeks off, right?
We're going to go sook.
But when we come back, we'll hopefully have Mateo from One Percenters on to take us through his mid-season review.
Awesome.
So if at the start of the year, if you read his Adelaide season preview, then we're going to get his update and see how things are tracking.
But just to add, if we do win this week, we will be up and about next week. So don't worry about it. Kate, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Daniel.
And thanks everyone on the chat and listening in at
guys.
home. It's great to see you all. And we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.